All right, guys, it is November 1st. It is our first Dream Team Zoom, I think what it was called, for the month. And we are down to 2 months left of 2021, which is mind-boggling because I don't know about you, but I thought 2020 was never going to end. And then now I feel like 21 has flown by. Although there's parts of it that I would be ready to be over with also. But anyway, I just want to kind of come together tonight. I was looking, I always like try to think on Monday, like, what do we want to talk about? Like if there's not something like jumping off of my, my brain for you. And really the only thing I want to kind of go back to is just like, how is your business? Like, where is your business? How are you feeling about it? What are you doing to either improve it or keep it going or, where is everybody? Because if I look at the volume, things have definitely changed over probably the last 6 months, I guess. And again, I know a lot of the people who show up to these Zooms all the time are the ones who are showing up to their job all the time. But like, let's just have an open conversation about like, what are you feeling? Where are you struggling? What do you know you need to be doing, but you're not doing it? Because I think that's one that we all have something we know, or even what is something that you've been doing, but you don't necessarily feel like it's helping. Like, I just really want to have an open conversation about how things are going. And of course, oh, here we go. Sandra says, I've been a mess this last month. I need to read, birthday reach out. Yeah, well, you've been traveling and doing your whole thing with the house, which is your story to tell for people. But I get it. So you feel like because of all that, like you're off of your schedule kind of what, like when you say I've been a mess, being more intentional with your messages. Yeah. And like, let's talk, not just Sandra, but like all of you, like how many reach outs a day are you doing? Are you doing only Facebook reach outs? Are you doing Instagram reach outs? Are you connecting to new, like, when was the last time you guys made a new friend on social media, on social media? Lisa, I know you got a little late. We're just open chatting today. We're just unmuting, we're typing. I just wanted to I would love if we were just all sitting around a dinner table right now, chit-chatting together, but this is where we are. Sandra you made a Facebook friend today, Sandra. I think that's what you were answering. So good, that's good. Nobody else do anything? You can unmute, Sonia.
I've made a few friends. I know I'm not doing nearly what I need to do. My life is just, with Charlie, It's chaotic right now. It really is. And, but I am trying to do some conscious comments on people's, I'm not getting a messenger. I know I need to. Mm-hmm. I'm just not.
Yeah. It's like, are you working in stories any? For me,
yes.
I feel like that's a good place to do conscious comments because you automatically get into Messenger. Do you know what I'm saying?
Well, I look at their stories, but a lot of my friends don't have stories.
Well, true. That's true. Yeah, I have that with some people too. Okay. I was just wondering. Courtney says, I interact through Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, and TikTok. Gained a ton of new followers on TikTok, so I'm being intentional with my posts over there. Fun stuff, but sprinkle and thrive. Yes, good. So real quick, before we dive into that, let's kind of help Sonia or all of us in general. When your life is crazy, busy, which I feel like we're all going to have these times in our lives, right? Sometimes I feel like we're so focused on what do I need to do? What do I need to do? Whereas maybe there are things we like, what can I pull back from to allot that time? So like, are there things you're doing? Like, are you, like, case in point, you're on this Zoom. Maybe during this time, being on a Zoom every other week and then spending a half an hour just in Messenger versus being on the Zoom, which I know it kind of sucks because it's nice to be on the Zooms and do all that stuff. But I remember there was a time where I was just constantly trying to be on all the trainings, all the Zooms, catching all the replays. And then I didn't have any energy left to do all the stuff I actually needed to do. So maybe there's something you need to pull back from. Let me get caught up here real quick. I made a new friend, being consistent with my reach out. This is Lisa Cook, by the way. I feel like I'm playing catch up with everything, getting ready for family to visit and then having them here. Yeah. Families put a wrench in all and like everyone's plans here lately. Sandra says, I've done my reach outs, but I have not been writing things down and that drives me crazy. Yep. I feel like life is more in control now. My brain has difficulty multi-focusing. Squirrel. I made new reels and I need to post them. Olivia says, I stopped getting on so many Zooms. Yeah. So sometimes we just have to decide which ones are the most important. So Sonia said, this in your Sunday Zoom is only, okay, so you're only doing 2 anyway. That's good then. I don't make the ones during the day. Yeah, there are 3 a week Zooms I do. So, oh, like the planning Zooms, like the Monday, Wednesday, Friday planning Zooms. Yeah. Okay. So it's just something to think about. Like I know even just not even Thrive related, but like when things are crazy, maybe at your job or I don't know, like, closer to Christmas, like suddenly you stop doing certain things because all of a sudden you have more stuff to do. So a lot of times when I start feeling frazzled, I will just say, okay, self, what can I cut out that will allow me the time to do the things that I need to do? And so sometimes it's, I'm not a big TV watcher, but sometimes I can't watch my farmer or my garden girl on YouTube. Or like, there are times where I really, really want to do that, but I will make myself read my book first. Like, I don't know. It's like it's like having to mother. I feel like I have to mother myself sometimes and be like, no, Tammy, that's not what you can do right now. You have to make the right choice. So think about that. Like for those of you that have said, like, you've been overwhelmed, like, what are some things that maybe you're doing that you don't have to be doing right now so that it makes time for it? Because this business is all about communicating with people. So if there's something that you're doing on your schedule consistently that doesn't involve communicating with people, I would cut it out. I would just cut it out. Like, it's not going to be the most important. It's not the most important activity. So if you're spending 15 minutes working on a graphic versus 15 minutes of doing messages, do the messages. If you're working, 30 minutes on a training, nix it and do 30 minutes of messages. Like, the more time you spend communicating, the better off you're going to be. I lost my, Sonia says, maybe I need to get on the working Zoom instead of scrolling. Yes. Yeah. And I think, well, you were on there last night. So for me, the best way to not scroll to look for people is to go through your friends list and specifically just pick people and just get a bunch of them open and then go through them, because I'm the same way. If I start scrolling, it's bad, especially right now, because all these cute kids with their Halloween costumes, I'm like, oh. Courtney says, I feel you, Sandra. The last couple months were tough. I let everything going on with the house as an excuse. I actually lost rank in September and it made me so upset. I was determined to get it back in October, and she did. Yes. Courtney did get her 12K back. And again, like, it's just, there's not a single face on this Zoom that doesn't have a shit ton of stuff going on in their life. Like, there just isn't. Like, I know all of you and I know all the things everybody's going through. So yeah, part of it is just making the decision to be so determined to do what is most important for you. Olivia says, my mental health has been shit, but I'm still commenting and messaging. This is definitely a planting season for me. Yes. Yes. And Olivia, that first sentence worries me a little bit. Like, we need to talk about that. Like, your mental health is the absolute utmost top priority, which I know you have 18 kids and a lot going on and some exciting stuff and some nerve-wracking stuff. So I get it. But yeah, definitely your mental health should come first. So let's kind of backtrack, like, with all the crazy things happening. So like, Courtney is moving. Olivia's got all the kids to take care of. Sandra just had a trip and a house. I mean, there's like every face, like everything on here. You guys have stuff going on. So let's think about what is the one thing for you, not your business, for you. What is the one thing for you need to do every single day so that then you can show up in your life better off and ready? I know for me, it's spending time reading. Like those of you that were in Florida with me, I like to spend that little bit of time just kind of marinating over maybe one verse or one card or something that I pull out. That is what helps get me centered for my day, because it's just a fact. Like, we're all going to have stuff pop up all day long. Like, it's just, unfortunately, we're over the age of 12. And so shit just happens all day, every day. If I could just go back to being 12, oh my gosh, those were the good days. But I find if I take that time in the morning to do something for myself, then I can go about things better. So Olivia says, breathing, praying, pulling from my Mary and Martha cards, first thing, all caps, before I even touch my phone. Yes. So that, you guys, this is so tricky, because this little tool is like the devil in disguise, right? So yes, we use it for our jobs. But like we were just saying about scrolling, it's so hard for me, or for humans, I guess, to like not scroll. So that's kind of why for me, I had to go to something outside of my telephone for my morning motivation, because I used to go to like my phone for like a Bible app or like a YouTube. But I don't know, once I pick it up, I don't know. It's bad. I'm like an addict. So for me, I had to use something not with my phone so that I could kind of get a moment. And Casey, I've told you guys before, I try to take my that picture in the morning. I try to take that at night before bed as often as possible so that I'm not thinking of that first thing. And I think we talked about this one time when we talked about ego. I was hell bent for the longest time that when the alarm went off at whether it was 3:30 in the morning or 5 o'clock in the morning, I had to take that picture. I had to timestamp it. I had to like prove to people that I took my Thrive earlier than anybody else, like blah, 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 blah. And in the grand scheme of things, that is not important. It doesn't matter. There are days where I might wake up at, I don't know, 5:36, but I don't get my happy smiley picture up until 7. It's okay. Nobody died and nobody really cares. And it's funny, the people who are early risers, it doesn't matter to them anyway. And the people who aren't early risers, whether you're getting up at 4 or 7, they're blown away that you're already up doing something. They don't know, they don't care. So take some of that pressure off of you and do something. Like, to me, the thing I have to do first is something for me. Then the first thing I do for my job is post that in my stories. Let me get caught up here. Lisa says, my devotional and gratitude journal every morning. Ed Milet talks about keeping promises to ourselves. Yes, that is so important to show up for yourself. Absolutely. And that's what I want to talk about is like, collectively, we're not going to all do this together, but maybe we will. I don't know. But what is the one thing you need to be doing to show up for yourself first and foremost, so that then you can show up for your job and you can show up for your business and you can show up for your family. Courtney says, I'm working on interactive posts at least every other day. Sonia, that might be something you could try to create interactions and conversations. People love to comment yes and give they love to give their opinions on the dumbest things. Sandra says, morning mindset first thing. Yes, and I agree with the morning mindset, but I just think some of us need to do our mindset away from our telephone. Courtney, I need a good gratitude journal. Please share your suggestions. So like you just want like a blank journal to write in, or are you wanting like a prompt? And don't forget, you guys can totally unmute. I love the chat box.
No, just really anything. I've never really used one. So I guess like if you were going to first start out with your very first one, like what would you recommend?
Well, first, I like Samantha's comment that question that you asked us would be a great interactive post for you to put on Facebook. Good job.
I didn't even see that.
Yeah. But I mean, when I first started doing it, I just it's just a blank piece of paper, mm-hmm. And I would just put the date and here's what I'm grateful for. You can find different ones that kind of have prompts that would be like, today I'm grateful for in my family, ... or that kind of thing. To me, it's not so much the book or the journal that you're writing in as it is the time to do it. Oh, Sandra's holding up Grace and Gratitude.
It's 100 Days of Grace and Gratitude by Shanna Noel. Shanna is spelled with 2 N's, SHANNA, Noel. And it's just 1 page a day.
Is it a blank page or
I like that?
Actually, it has... So like it has a little bit of like a devotional grace is, and then there's a couple of verses that go along with the grace, and we got to give ourselves grace. And then there's a section over here where you can write things. So each day it has like a little separate thing.
There's one for you, Court.
I just use a cute journal that TJ Maxx, you can find really cute journals. And then I put 5 things that I'm thankful for. And then I use the rest of it as a prayer list. So after I do my devotional, I'll do my gratitude. And then I just write people's names. Some people have been going through some stuff, or add or take away, or families that I know have had death, that kind of thing. So I keep mine all in this one kind of gratitude, and then my prayer list all kind of in the same space.
I like it. Anybody else? Remember, feel free to unmute and join in. Okay, so I'm going to recap really quick because I know some people got on here late. So kind of the first thing we were talking about is like every single person basically put in there that they feel like they're kind of living in a hot mess right now. Like something's happening in their life where they are disheveled, completely out of routine, kind of off the kilter. And like I was saying, that shows in the volume. Like I don't even have to necessarily talk to people. I can look at volume and be like, something's going on, like something's happening, like something's not right. And I don't mean that in a bad way. Like you're human, so you're not dollar amounts to me, but I can see it. I can see it in your business. And I think that's just that's a business thing. You can see in any business based on the numbers if things are going well or not. Well, in this particular case, we are our business. So if our numbers aren't going well, then I know something's not right. And I see it with my own business. Like if I don't feel good or something's not, something's off at home, it shows because you suddenly find yourself not doing the basics that you need to be doing. So that's why I wanted to bring it back to like, what is it that you need to be doing more of, or you need to do? But I also want you guys to think about what are the things you're doing that you don't have to do or that aren't actually income producing. Like there's a lot of things that we can do that aren't income producing. Oh, hush. One of my favorites. I love to make graphics for things. Love it. I didn't go to school for that, but I love that. Graphics don't always pay the bills, right? So I learned the hard way that I don't have to recreate graphics all the time. I just need to update them or whatever. Maybe you're lamenting about the live you should do or the reel you should make. Whereas in reality, the basics of this business are messenger. So if you're not getting your reach outs done, if you're not getting your follow-ups done, which is the core of our business, then maybe you don't need to be focused on a reel today, right? You need to do those reach outs first. That to me, sometimes I think we try to do too much, like I finally, when I was trying to dabble in reels and being completely overwhelmed by them, they were overwhelming. It wasn't until I started to learn just to do 5 or 6 in the moment and get them done and have them that I was able to be consistent with them. But again, I'm not going to throw out a reel or take the time to make it if I haven't done my reach outs, because that's where our money is. You have to remember, people have been making money in network marketing or in sales in general for decades before there was even computers, before there was any of this stuff, because it all boils down to a conversation that you have with another human. We are very fortunate in this particular business and day and age that our conversations can be so abundant. Like I don't have to drive anywhere to meet somebody to have a conversation. And you guys know this, when we started this 6 years ago, it was all about the 3-way call, which required coordinating the schedule of 3 different peoples and trying to be sneaky with the one person so they didn't know somebody else was going to be on the phone, blah, blah, blah. And we don't have to do that stuff anymore. It's literally just a matter of picking up the phone and typing or talk to text or whatever, that voice clipping, whatever that is. But if we didn't have all of that, this job would still boil down to talking to people. And so anytime you find yourself, I do this test a lot with myself. Anytime I find myself spending too much time at my desk, in my computer, looking at my calendar or planning out like a local or something like that, because that's all the fun stuff, then I'm like, well, how many people did I talk to today? Because what good is it to have a local if I don't have anybody to come, if I'm not inviting people, if I'm not having conversations? So I want you guys to think about that. Like when you think like, oh man, my business isn't where I want it to be, how many people have you talked to? That's the number one question to ask yourself every single day. The first thing, this is why I still go to the grocery store, so I can see people. Yeah. And that was a struggle. I remember when Sandra quit her day job teaching, it was such an exciting moment, right? It was like a goal, this life-changing goal, but then it slowly started to sink in. She was like, I have to get out of this house. Which we all lived through at 2020. But like she did it a little bit earlier, right? She's like, I've got to get out of this house. I have to talk to people. And that's what she's like, I think I'm going to go pass out balls at the YMCA. So she knew at least one night a week, she would have communication with humans. So it's super important. I think 2020 forced us all to realize that whether we could get out of the house or not, we could still communicate with people. But yeah, talking to humans, that's what this job is. You sell a product that helps humans. So unless you're talking to humans, you got no one to work. Sam says, that's why I work at Home Goods now, y'all, so I can make new friends. Same thing. Sam was miserable at the salon that she was working at down there, hated it. And I hated the girl she worked for. So, finally she didn't have to do it anymore. And it was awesome. But then Sam was like staring at the walls during the day. Her kids were at school, her husband was at work. You can only work on the phone for so long before you're like crawling at the walls. Olivia, oh, hey, hi, I get to start talking to humans at the Y. So Olivia's going to start doing fitness classes at the YMCA. She's going to be around humans. So it's these little things that it seems little, but it's not. Like, it's so important to have conversations and meet new people. So for those of you that are still working your day job, I know sometimes people are like, oh, I can't wait to quit my job and blah, blah, blah. I'm not successful because I can't. Take advantage of the fact that you're in a job, that you're in a building during the day around a lot of other people. And maybe you've been around the same people for the last umpteen years. They know people that you don't know. I just had a conversation with a girl. I have a friend who had a double lung transplant a few years back, maybe 6 years back now. She 1,010% cannot thrive. She just can't. It's just not, it will never be in the cards. She's on a million medications and blah, blah, blah. But we were talking and I was like, yeah, but Molly, who do you know? I know you can't do it, but who do you know? She was a nurse before all that happened to her. She has tons of friends. And shame on me for not thinking to ask Molly sooner. I just knew Molly couldn't use it, so I kind of checked her off my list. But duh, Molly knows a million people. So don't count out the people who've told you no. Those people can still connect you to people. Let me get caught up here. Courtney says, I think sometimes we overcomplicate our business. No way, girl. Yeah, we do. We're too hard on ourselves. We set expectations for ourselves. When we don't meet those expectations, we get in our head and we feel like we failed. When in reality, we've just been working our business. Yes. I love expanding my network, not on social media. That's Samantha Cox talking about real humans again. Olivia says, Paul says, don't quit your day job. There's a lot to it. I mean, there are days I get overwhelmed, but I'm constantly seeing people and talking to people. And I'm so happy about that. Sandra says, we found a new church we really like. I'm going to make more new friends. And yes, so go new places, try new. Here's the beauty of 2021. We can get back out of the house now. So dip your foot in the water and get out there. With all that said, though, for those of you that are like, I'm already overwhelmed and now she's telling me to do more stuff, stick to the basics. Talk to humans. If you get to talk to humans in real life, that's great. If you get to talk to humans on the telephone, that's great. But if you have to talk to humans through Messenger and through text message, that's also great. That's the basic of this business. So the first thing I want you to do when you get out of the bed in the morning is something for yourself, something to get yourself centered and ready. Because like I said, we're all over 12. Shit's going to happen all day long. We're going to have good days. We're going to have hard days. We're going to have challenging days. We're going to have scary days, but we're going to have amazing days also. So we just need to make sure that we're centered and ready for our day. And then make your top priority. How many people can I talk to today? I talked about like doubling your number of reach outs in the month of November. And I know that freaked a lot of people out, but I'm just saying, talk to more people. Just if you talk to 5 every day, talk to 10. And you guys remember, when I say talk to 10 people, I'm not saying write them a book, and I'm not saying call them and get them on the phone and take them to lunch. I'm talk to 10 people. The social media, you can talk to so many people. So I want to scroll back up here really quick because Courtney mentioned, it's way up here, Courtney Summers. Okay, so she's interacting on Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, and TikTok. So for those of you that are like, I can't get out of my house, or I can't, get a second job, or I can't, there's plenty of platforms you can talk on. There's Twitter. There's more that I just can't think of right now. But there's lots of things that you guys could be on. So just remember, there's more than one way to skin a cat. Yes, Facebook is awesome for certain people, but TikTok is awesome for certain people too. So just remember, to me, the beauty on TikTok for this business for Lavelle is that TikTok, and well, same with Instagram and stuff, it's everywhere. Those people are everywhere. So when I look at that compared to like our brick and mortar local store, it doesn't do me a whole lot of, I'm like, the people who follow, like say Fitness for You on Instagram, they probably live in Lebanon. If they don't live in Lebanon, they probably live too far to care to drive to Lebanon, right? So it's great. We have followers. We keep people informed on things, but it's not totally the best way to build the business. The way we build the business there locally is through word of mouth. It's through referral, which is also how we should do Lavelle. But when you look at something like Lavelle, where we can ship it to how many different places, and it doesn't matter that I live here and you live there, that's where this whole thing expands. That's where you really have to start taking your connection and your time on social media super serious. What you post doesn't have to be serious. The reels don't have to be serious. You can have fun and be hilarious, but take the time that you spend on that app, take that time super seriously. So going back to like, instead of scrolling, being intentional, either print your friends list out or do what I was showing the other night where you right click, like if you're on a PC, right click everyone's profile and open them up in a separate window so that you're just focused on that person in that moment versus scroll. Like be intentional and be really, I hate to keep saying being smart about it, but like, again, a brick and mortar. So I used to have to pay for advertisements in the local paper to get people to come into my store. They were expensive. I didn't have software to make cute graphics. I had to hope people saw it. You guys, this little box can go all over the place. People everywhere can see what you're talking about. So just remember, like, you don't need to be posting tons of graphics about stuff. You just need to be sharing why you love Thrive and what it's done for you, so that then you can start having conversations with people. And don't forget the almighty search button, you guys. Search words like hashtag tired, hashtag overwhelmed, hashtag soccer mom, hashtag football mom. Like those people all need Thrive. Hashtag weight loss. Like don't think you have to scroll your feed as is, because you don't know all of the people out there yet. You need to meet. Radar wants to be on. Yeah, it's okay. So try and do, I would just say for the month of November, if this whole team would hunker down and make our one and main goal to talk to people and to see how many people we can talk to every day, whether we're searching hashtags, whether we're going into stories, whether we're actually saying, hey, Molly, who do you know that would like to thrive? Just building names and names and names, because it's a numbers game, you guys. If you want 2 great customers, you got to talk to a lot more people than 2. And I see that a lot. And I do it to myself sometimes, where I will get myself so focused on these 2 people that I know need to thrive. And they do, I'm not wrong, they do, but I can't spend my whole day worrying about 2 people, because there's a gajillion, or whatever their people are out there. There's a gajillion of them, right? That I need to be worried about. Sandra says, I randomly found a mom today on SM. I had her daughter in kindergarten, sent her a message, and so excited. Thank you.
Social media.
Oh, I gotcha. Look at you. Courtney says, most of all interactions are not about Thrive. It's mainly Jinx, but people love him, so they have. So, okay, but so I don't know if you guys all know the story about Courtney and Jinx, but she did just an innocent little TikTok of that cute little puppy of hers. And it went like legitimately viral. And so now she has all these people following her. And I don't know how many of you are on TikTok, but whether you're following a lot of people on TikTok or not, on your like main page, it's going to pop people up. But so now that they're following Courtney, they maybe like it could be somebody that's obsessed with dogs, and maybe that's how they found Courtney. But so every now and then they're going to see this dog mom, and then they're going to see her again with this like Thrive stuff, and then dog mom, and then Thrive stuff, and then dog mom. And eventually it's going to peak. They're going to be like, what is this dog mom? What's this Thrive have to do with being such a cool dog mom? Somebody somewhere is going to look, and they're going to start asking questions. But they weren't attracted to her originally because of Thrive. They liked her dog. So that's why we talk so much about having conversations with people about what you love. That those topics that if somebody brought it up right now at a dinner table, you would completely geek out on them, and you would just talk nonstop, like barely take a breath and keep going. Mine are right here. Dog mom, wife, small business owner, gardener, travel obsessed. Always know what you love to talk about, because that's the stuff that you're going to connect with people over. Like people will, no one's going to want to buy Thrive for me because I'm not a fitness person. Do you know how many non-fitness people need Thrive? Doesn't matter. Like people use Thrive all the time for other things besides weight loss. Maybe somebody it has a horrible, I was trying to be compliant, but I forgot this is a team Zoom. Maybe somebody's a real bitch all the time and they need like to chill out. Maybe somebody is overwhelmed completely by a million thoughts running through their heads. Maybe somebody can't think straight because their migraines are killing them all the time. They just have headaches nonstop and they can't figure out why. Thrive can help so many other people, but if you're not talking to them, they're not going to know. Courtney says I was rereading what you said. So anyway, I don't want to ramble forever, but I would like to make a challenge that this team like really hunker down, and instead of worrying about all the million things that we can do as promoters, focus on the one thing that we must do as a promoter, and that is talk to humans. So take your list, whatever list you've been working from. If you're doing the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, that's great. Double that bad boy. If you're doing the 10 a day, double that bad boy. Really dive in. Like when people say, how do I do the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1? I don't have 4 follow-ups every day. You don't have 4 people on your list that you haven't talked to in like a couple weeks or a month. Like that's a follow-up. Like it's not the first time, right? Like you're going to follow up with somebody. We have a brand new product called Detox. Whether somebody wanted to thrive or not on a daily basis, people want to detox. Right? Like people are super excited about detox. So you constantly have a reason to follow up. We should pretty soon hear back about how much money we raised for breast cancer. That is a follow-up. Hey, I know this is a cause near and dear to you, and I just wanted to brag. This is what my company raised for it, and I was just so excited and proud. That is a follow-up. If you are talking to enough people, you will be shocked that you're not talking to more than 4 people as a follow-up. Like just get really focused on communicating. And I know that some people are like, well, how do I keep track of it? Do I do an Excel spreadsheet? Do I do a sheet of paper? I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. You do what works for you. Some people are amazing on the computer and they love to do, like Danielle, I see her face. She is freaking amazing with Excel. Like I don't know how she does it. She can turn anything to an Excel spreadsheet. I'm just old fashioned. I got a piece of note paper with some names on it. But use your calendar. Like, so if I talk to Sally Sue today and she says no, I put Sally Sue's name 2 weeks from now. I don't have to remember 2 weeks from now, who did I talk to? I already took her name and put it there. Remember, we talked about this before. If the dentist doesn't show up into the office that day and say, I wonder who's coming, right? No, the dentist knows who's coming. They got booked 6 months ago. They already know who's coming and what they're coming for. So if you wake up every morning and you're looking at a blank sheet of paper, you're like the dentist who is just hoping that somebody comes in and needs their teeth cleaned or has a sore tooth today. You need to wake up every day and be like, okay, these are the people who I'm following up with. These are the people, it's their birthday today. I'm going to talk to them. These are the people who when I searched #tired, these are the people whose name came up. Have it planned out. This is a business. This isn't what Samantha says, post and pray. This isn't like get up in the morning and stare at the computer and hope somebody needs you. People need you, but you got to be prepared for it. So before you go to bed tonight, have 10 names written down on a sheet of paper for tomorrow. Who are the 10 people you're going to talk to tomorrow? Now, granted, during tomorrow, I hope you run into more people. I hope you, maybe you're scrolling at lunch and you find someone else to talk to. That's great. That's bonus. But who's on your calendar to talk to tomorrow? Like, I think that's kind of where we screw up with this, is we just wake up every day and we think, I'm going to go talk to 5 people today. Figure it out. Don't just show up at the office and hope for the best. You can look right now. Facebook will tell you right now whose birthday is tomorrow. Write those names down. Tomorrow is free credit day. Who do you have on what active customers do you have on your team that are thriving for free? Contact them tomorrow. Have their names written down and just be like, hey, it's free credit day. Just want to remind you, check your free credits. That's a follow-up. That's also really good customer service. Right? As you're scrolling through Facebook tonight before you go to bed, if you see a couple people who, I don't know, if anyone's friends with my cousin Courtney, she has 4 children. It's mind-boggling. If you see pictures like that, that's someone you should add to your list to talk to tomorrow. Hey, how was trick or treat? I don't know how you do it with 4 of them. Like that's a person you want to keep track of. So plan this out so that tomorrow when you wake up, you know what you're doing. Instead of going into your office tomorrow and being like, well, I hope I talked to someone today. Know who you're talking to. Right? Does that help? Hopefully, I don't know. I feel like this was all over the board, but Tom was like, what's your topic tonight? I'm like, it's just a free for all. I'm like, I just want to talk to them. I want to see how their lives are going. I really do wish we were just all sitting around a dinner table right now and just catching up and here's what's happening. But I think, like Courtney said, we're overcomplicating things with all the stuff we could be doing, when in reality, The only thing you absolutely have to do is talk to people. So I know a lot of times I'm like, plan a team call, plan a local. I got it. I got the local. I got the team Zoom. Don't worry about it. Let's talk to people. Let's just put our heads down and talk to people. I think we should do this more. I do too, but I wish people would like show their face and talk, because I feel like I'm talking to myself. But I do think it's important just to talk about what's going on. So for those of you that got on late, and I'll put the replay up, but everyone's overwhelmed. This is my in a nutshell. Everyone is overwhelmed. No one is happy where their volume is. Everyone knows they need to be talking to more people, but again, they're overwhelmed. So we're cutting out the fluff. We're cutting out the extra. We are just going to put our heads down and make it a goal to talk to as many people as we can in the month of November. For those of you that are up for the challenge, I would love for you to double your number of daily reach outs. But I think the biggest takeaway, and I don't know how or why, but it came in the last few minutes, do not go to bed tonight without at least 5 to 10 names written down that you are going to talk to tomorrow. Plan your day. This is your business. If you wake up in the morning and you just hope that the gods are going to bring people to you, I'm not saying that it might not happen, but it ain't going to happen every day. So if you get that calendar and you write those, and you guys, that's when people are like, I struggle with birthday reach outs. For the love of Pete, it's already in Facebook. The names are there. There's no struggle. The struggle is doing activity. So write down those names. Start talking. You got auto shippers coming up in 4 days. Put those auto ship names down. Tonight you should all go to bed with your birthdays, your auto shippers, any free credit people. And then I would say pick 4 or 5 trick or treat photos that you liked yesterday or today and follow up with those people. And just ask questions. Talk to people. I don't know how else to say it. Okay, I love you all. I hope you have a great Monday night. And I will put this recording up if you need to listen to me say talk to people 18 times again. Bye.